Hello all you hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? It's Big Porky here, the voice of hardcore boxing. Well, it's been an interesting few days. There's still no movement, is there, on the Eddie Hearn soap opera. Eddie Hearn with Joshua Miller, Joshua Wilder, Joshua Fury, Joshua White, Joshua Lewis Ortiz. Is Joshua going to fight anybody? $40 million they're giving him to fight in America. He's one greedy man. Anthony Joshua, the man that says it's not about money. As soon as somebody asks for 50-50, it becomes about money. What happened to Anthony Joshua, the man that wants to bring boxing back to the UK for the fans? What happened to him? 40 million a fight. I want to be a billionaire. Stay humble. Be humble. You be humble while we stay hungry. So I think I'm going to give my pal Smido a ring in a few minutes, have a chat with him. First of all, I just want to mention this about why I'm doing the channel. I'm doing this channel because I want to be heard, and I want people to know that there is somebody out there that doesn't agree with everything that the fans are being told. Whether or not I get a living out of this, it doesn't really matter to me. I would like that, but if not, I've lost nothing, have I? It's just me giving an opinion on boxing. You know, it's no different to me talking to Smido about boxing in his local pub while having a bite to eat, or listening to Boxing Asylum or New Age Podfather. I'm always going to be an hardcore boxing fan, and I love boxing that much. I will always be doing something around boxing, whether it's messing about with Dennis, you know, nipping here, there and everywhere, and just hanging around boxing scene, learning my craft, or doing my channel. I will always have boxing close to my heart. So the people who asked, yeah, I'm doing this channel now. I'm partners, 50-50 partners with somebody I grew up with who's close to me. When you grow up with somebody, right, and you don't see him for years, but you went to school with them, right, for example, you see him in town on a Saturday night and you go, hey, hope you give him a big cuddle. That's because you grew up with him, innit? Well, that's just the same with me and NJ, except that, you know, we were in each other's houses all the time as kids. You know, we grew up together in the 70s when you could leave your doors open, and when everybody had a pool table in the garage and a dartboard, and went golf balling over here, and chasing cows around here, and conker trees at back here, or here. Growing up in haystacks over here. Kids did things, didn't they, in them days? Nowadays they're all like that on an iPad, aren't they? But yeah, so let's hope the channel moves forward. There's a few things in pipeline, so I hope people are going to follow me. And if I get a living out of it and I get a few quid, be happy for me. Don't be angry and bitter, because I can assure you, I'm not going to be a millionaire off it, am I? But you know, I've got to put effort in. You've got to be rewarded for your effort, haven't you? If you want to do something, you want to treat it as a business, don't you? Some at 8 about the last few days. Shocking. People shocking. Not costing anybody anything, is it? If you don't want to watch, don't watch. I'm not asking people to watch. I'm not forcing yous. So it's nice when people subscribe and they say nice things. If you don't want to say something nice, my mum used to say, don't say anything at all. If you're jealous to death of me, say I'm jealous. If you want to do your own channel, have a go. Just like I'm doing. Just having a go. Just doing my thing. So keep following the channel, keep supporting boxing, and I'm going to ring Smido now. I always think it sounds better. It cuts out, doesn't it, every 5 minutes if the engine's off. So I'm going to ring him on this. second ago. Be able to hear me now, won't he?
Hello.
Hello.
Is not available. Please leave your message after the tone. After you finish your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Hey, it's Smido, mate. I've just given you a ring, pal. Give us a ring back, mate. No worries. Alright, cheers. He'd give me a ring back, Smido. He's a good kid. So, I enjoyed the podcast at the weekend. I thought New Age Podfather were good. If anybody wants to listen to a good pod, go and listen to New Age Podfather. I thought that was brilliant at the weekend. Especially how they pointed out the fact that, you know, Eddie Earn said that they were going to bring boxing back to keep boxing at UK, but they're not, are they? How are you doing?
Hello, mate. I'm not sure what happened there, sorry.
Oh, it's alright, mate. Cheers.
How are you?
I'm alright, mate.
Yeah, good.
I'm just outside at home, just having a flask of soup, talking to you, mate. How you been?
Yeah, good. I've been a bit out of the loop on boxing wise, and then there was that show on the other week from the O2. I booked that in on a Saturday night. I thought I'd sit and watch that, and I regretted it. So I think I'm back to square one. I'm full casual now, Porky. Full casual.
Yeah. How's family doing? All right.
Very well, thank you. Yeah.
And how's your baby doing?
Perfect.
Everything all right?
Flown by.
Are you still training? Doing a bit of training?
Yeah. Been a good start to the year. Very good start to the year, actually. So yeah, we're enjoying it. 216 sessions in 2018. So we'll try and better that this year.
216 sessions. God, you'll be like Fraught. You'll be calling you Iron Man soon, Smido.
That's it. Yeah, well, that's it. Well, he is the hero. He is the hero. I'm trying to replicate him. You know?
Yeah. How come you want top pod at weekend?
Because I've not watched anything. It's simple as that, really.
Because what?
I hadn't watched anything.
Oh, you didn't watch?
So yeah, I didn't go on. They weren't a lot on though, was they, last weekend? No,
they weren't really. There's not really much to talk about. It's just going over old ground. It's like this heavyweight thing, this Fantastic Four. The Joshua, Wilder, Fury, and the other one, White, is it? They're not. Nobody's signing anything. They're all jostling for position, aren't they, and squabbling about splits.
Well, the thing what I said on the pod the other day, they've got April the 13th is their only date for Wembley this year. That's the only thing they've got. That is the holy grail. That is where everyone makes a shitload of money. And to see that, for Matchroom, to see that go up in smoke and not use that date at all, must be nothing short of a disaster within their business. That must be a crisis. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking, because it has to be paid for, doesn't it, Wembley?
Well, you'd have thought there'd be some sort of deposit and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that just has to be a crisis. That is their flagship event of the whole year around the whole world, regardless of what they're doing in America. To not have that is a major disappointment for them, and obviously quite a few fans as well. I mean, I like Wembley events. Don't get me wrong. So it is I think they obviously thought that they could get White as a last resort, and Dylan is obviously not happy with that, whether we agree with his reasons or not. He threw a spanner in the works because I think they had him as a last resort of the big three, if you like, and now they've not got any of the big three. They're going to have to go over and fight Big Baby.
He were plan C, wasn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, it didn't help that when Fury and Wilder fought, it was a draw, and then that brings rematch into the equation and stuff like that. That probably didn't help fast forward, but other than that, I think that there's a lot of blame needs to sit at AJ and Eddie Earn's door, I think. I don't know about you.
I think he's become greedy now. I was looking at some AJ interviews. In every single interview he does, he always makes a point of saying, I'm about business. But he's not about fighting anybody, is he? Because who is his best win? Who's his top 3 wins?
Well, Vladimir, probably Povetkin, and Porky, you have to say.
Well, Parker's untested and he's never beat a champion. And Dillian White's already ran over him, so he's not much cop. Povetkin were in his 40th year, and Vladimir were in his 42nd year, 18 months on settee. So all these AJ fanboys will keep hammering me on my channel with the comments on YouTube. They need to go and look at Joshua's top 3 wins.
I don't mind the way he's been campaigning, because he's still pretty young, he has very little amateur experience. Obviously they took the chance against Charles Knight. You can definitely pick holes in their opponents until this stage. So
until this stage we're at now,
I don't mind what's gone before. I mean, we could sit here and pick holes in Mayweather's opponents and Pacquiao's and Brock's, whatever. Up to this stage, I don't mind the way he's been campaigning. They've turned him into a British megastar. But his next fight onwards, that's where people like me, who aren't, you know, AJ fanboys, but I'm not a hater. From his next fight, whatever that may be, that's when we can really start criticising him, because everything's there. The opponents are there. And it's just up to them to make them. This narrative that Eddie says about, oh, he's the #1 heavyweight in the world, commercially maybe he is, but to claim that he's the #1 heavyweight in the world, there's absolutely no way I can agree with that. No way. Because the 3 of them, or 4, 3/4, need to prove it in some way. Tyson Fury nearly did that. I mean, if he'd have got the nod, like whenever it was, November, I'd have said he was #1. But there's no way in hell that anyone can genuinely argue that AJ is #1. No way.
I agree with you there, Smido. I agree with you. Way I look at it is this: Tyson Fury came back and he surprised us all, didn't he?
Yeah.
I got it wrong. I had Wilder to knock him out in 9th. I got that wrong. I felt that after 8 rounds, they call it championship rounds, don't they? 9, 10, Jack, 9, 10, Jack, 12, don't they? From 9 onwards, that sorts the men from the boys out, doesn't it? It's the last third.
Yeah.
Now, I always used to say to Froch, why do they always call it the championship rounds? And he used to say to me, the last third of a fight is when you find out who's been cutting corners. You know, in the camps, he says you will be found out in them last 4 rounds now.
Yeah.
Training camps are basically 12-week camps, aren't they? So if you've been training for 8 weeks and it's a 12-round fight, you'll get found out in them rounds. Groves got found out because he used to take weight off late, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now Tyson Fury got found out because he took the weight off over a long period of time, a year, but it was a lot of weight, and I don't think his body was match fit. Yeah, he might have been fit in the gym, fit, but he weren't match fit, and of course he was fighting a big puncher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But I think he beats him in rematch.
Yeah, so I think that, because like you say, he'll match fit, he'll have the confidence, and I think he embarrassed Wilder for much of the fight. I thought Wilder was massively disappointing, massively.
And the good thing about it, Smido, is this: Tyson beats him in rematch. Joshua's out at picture again, isn't he? He's out at picture.
Yeah, it depends if they have a
step aside money.
Do you reckon? Yeah.
Step aside money. If Tyson beats Wilder, Wilder's going to turn around and say, I want to fight Tyson again, or he could just get a big offer and just go fight Joshua. Because Joshua has got to fight one of them 2 next, or Dillian White. Now, if it's Dillian White, they've got to pay him. Because if he wins again, they've got to pay him even more. They've got to back up what he's been asking for. Now, Dillian White, he's not fought for a European title yet, has he?
Well, I'm no big fan of Dillian White, but I think he had a good year last year. He had a very solid year.
Very solid year, good wins.
Yeah, good wins, entertaining fights. I know he's got life and death with Parker and, you know, was losing to Chisora, but you know, on paper, you look back on that year and 2 or 3 solid wins. Fair play to him. I don't think he's any great shakes, and I think Joshua will probably beat him again, but he's definitely improved, I think, as well, White. You can tell that. I used to criticise him, you know, not being able to throw a right hand. I still don't think he can throw a great right hand, but he's improved that. His fitness has obviously got better and stuff like that, and he's jabbing a bit better. So, yeah, fair play to him.
I think that with Dillian White, Smido, I think that he has come on since he's gone 9-0, since Joshua beat him. And let's not forget, he got injured in that fight, didn't he?
Shoulder, was it?
Shoulder went, you know, and he could have been fitter. He will have learnt from that. And I do know Mark Tibbs quite well now, actually, and I'd like to think that Mark Tibbs and his dad, they're proper old school. They're not daft, them, you know. They're not going to put... Mark Tibbs is a genuine kid. If he's got a problem, he'll tell you. If he don't like Eddie Hearn, he'll tell him. If he don't like Frank Warren, he'll tell him. If he don't like how Dillian's performing in camp, they will tell him. They didn't like what Billy Joe were doing. They sent him packing, didn't they?
Yeah.
They won't be messed about. Jimmy Tibbs is a millionaire anyway. Mark Tibbs is not short of a few quid. They're not there to be mugged off. They're proper boxing people, them, you know.
Yeah.
Proper boxing people. Now, Dillian White, he looks to me like he's come on leaps and bounds. And I've become a fan, even though one of his team were ringing me up fucking ranting and raving, you know, because I said that Parker want pay-per-view and against him. Fair enough, yeah, maybe I went a bit off at top because I was saying, no, it's not pay-per-view, and I was screaming like a banshee, but it weren't, but it ended up a good fight, didn't it?
Well, Dillian White after 2018 is probably in Matchroom's top 3 of the stars.
Yeah,
yeah, might even be second.
You're right, Smido, and you know what? They're going to want to keep him away from Joshua because they haven't really got another pay-per-view star, have they now? Amir Khan, I've heard this morning, is going to leave Eddie Hearn after the Crawford fight. Whether he wins or loses, he's going. If he wins, he's got a rematch with Crawford and it won't be with Eddie Hearn. If he loses, he's going to Al Heyman anyway. So that's him done with Eddie Hearn, and from what I've heard on Grapevine, Eddie's been going around saying Amir and his dad can get effed. So basically Amir's had him over, hasn't he, basically? So
yeah, it's not gone to put as Eddie and Sky.
If he'd have done that to Dennis, I'd be screaming like blue murder at him, saying, "Ah, he's out of order." Or if he'd have done that to, you know, Mick Hennessy or Steve Goodwin, I'd be saying he's out of order, Amir Khan. Because it's Eddie, he needs to learn. Like when Frampton first left him, he can't have it all his own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Dillian White, I think he'll fight Brazil next. I think Povetkin's an harder fight for him than Brazil. But I think he'll fight Brazil. But Brazil's easy meat for him, isn't he?
Well, but is Brazil going to want to risk it? Because he's a WBC mandatory, apparently.
One thing they're not, one name they're not bandying about, all of them, is Luis Ortiz. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I think he's too old that now, though, Porky. To be honest.
Well,
I mean, he's still got the skills, but I think he's too old.
I think, Smido, that at some stage you could see Joshua against Luis Ortiz. That's what I think.
Well, they had the chance to do that before, did they not? When Eddie signed him for
Eddie had him at Matchroom, but
well, yeah.
You know, no seemed to be happening with it, did it?
I mean, if Ortiz would have been, you know, 5, 6, 7 years younger, he would have finished Wilder.
Yeah, oh, yeah, of course he would have.
He just blew his load, he was knackered.
The Ortiz who Oscar De La Hoya had, he would have knocked Wilder out.
Yeah.
But he's been stop-start for the last 5 or 6 years, 5 years, with them bans and then messing about with Eddie shut him down, didn't he, for 2 years, didn't he, basically? He took him out of the game, didn't he?
Well, he got him in with fucking Dave Allen, that was about the highlight. And he had that bad performance in Monaco, didn't he, that went the distance.
Yeah. But and then Eddie tied him up then for a few months, didn't he, to say, well, how can we sell you? You don't sell a ticket, you're ex-Olympian, you're experienced, you're punch hard, you're a Cuban, you're slick, you're a southpaw. He's in the Who Needs Him club, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I do rate him, I do rate Luis Ortiz, I do rate him, and I just think that he's on slide now, yeah, and he's probably just ripe for Femi now, isn't he? Ripe for Joshua.
Yeah, I don't think people get excited about that though, you know, because you know, like Povetkin, it didn't completely sell out.
Yeah.
Would Ortiz completely sell out? You know, he's probably less known than Povetkin.
Well, Pulev sold out.
Yeah.
Pulev sold out. When I went to Bulgaria to see Pulev against Yui, there were a lot of people there. That were a big arena. I think there were about 9,000-10,000 there. Now they reckon that Pulev had about 3,000 people over for Joshua fight. So, but he pulled out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Would they bring him for that Takam, wasn't it?
Takam, yeah.
Yeah. Now Eddie Hearn sold that as a pay-per-view and he got a lot of stick. That's when I first realised that They're always going to do that. If they sell a Joshua fight out, that will happen against Smido. There'll be a pull-out with 2 weeks to go, and they'll slip somebody in. Why will they do that? Well, if you read the bottom of your ticket, you'll see why. You can't get a refund if Joshua fights. And also, it's because they can. They can do it. Joshua's become that big now. They can just do what they want. Do you know what I mean?
When I was on the pod a couple of weeks ago, I said that, you know, they've got this April date, they're desperate to use it. Dillian Whyte wants more money, Matchroom have got money. I mean, because they were talking about fighting Brazil on the 20th, but it wasn't long enough for camp to prepare for Joshua on the 13th. I mean, I said at the time, it was over a week ago now, but I said then, I still wouldn't be surprised if it was Whyte. That was after he'd been on Sky and said it was dead in the water, but even now, I mean, it's a bit... You're pushing it a bit for them to agree the Joshua fight now, but I think they're desperate, Porky. I think they're desperate.
Yeah, I was speaking to Dennis about it on Sunday, and he said to me what he can't understand, if Joshua's such a big star and Eddie's saying he's massive, we could sell it out versus TBA. His words, weren't they, on IFL? We don't need an opponent, we can sell it out. Why don't they just fly Miller over for date and carry on with date?
Yeah, they could, but they want to use Miller. Miller's been the long-term plan for his American debut, hasn't it?
Yeah, they were planting seeds a year ago, weren't they, with Miller?
Yeah, definitely.
I think one of you boys, when Andy Patterson, or one of you our boys off at Boxing Asylum, one at Hardcore lads, or Dave the Hater, who said, "Oh, that's the next fight," or one of them. It's, you know, seeds planted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been nailed on. Well, I was going to ask you, Porky, what is happening with Callum Smith?
Callum Smith, I don't know, and do you know what? I don't really care, because for years I've known, and a lot of people have known, that Callum Smith struggles at £168. Now, all they've been telling their opponents is, we make it easy, we make it easier. They do not make £168 easy. The guy's 6'3½". He doesn't do that weight easy, but I'm hearing Kovalev's name, I'm hearing Golovkin's, I'm hearing Canelo, but it'll probably be John Ryder. I think they'll slip John Ryder in on a non-pay-per-view, because he's not pay-per-view, Callum Smith. He doesn't sell a ticket. The full four Smiths fighting at Liverpool with David Price and Bellew doesn't do a full sellout at the Echo, does it?
No.
So it's not going to be an Anfield fight. I keep hearing talk about Anfield and Golovkin. Yeah, it'd be pay-per-view versus Golovkin because of Golovkin, but. Yeah. I think they're going to have to wait while this DAZN thing. See, what you've got now is fighters are going to start playing Eddie Hearn at his own game now, because they know DAZN's there and they know he needs them. All the fighters now are on red alert. All Steffi Bull's fighters, even Dennis's fighter, Tommy Franks, he's 9-0, he fights for Commonwealth. Eddie's sniffing around everybody because he needs fighters. He can't fill the dates. He can't do the dates, Smido. He's spreading himself thin. Matchroom Italy, Matchroom Germany, Matchroom Sweden, I've heard this morning.
Mexico as well.
Mexico! Well, how are they going to fill all these dates? I mean, who were them lads that you mentioned to me the other night? The guys who we were on about, who he's been using, Gabe Rosado.
Rios.
Brandon Rios. These are all guys who were shot to bits.
I mean, he announces this deal for $500 million or whatever it
billion.
Was. And $1 billion, and then they come up with Gabe Rosado twice and Rios.
Yeah. Come
on.
$1 billion.
I'm talking to Porky now.
Yeah, I know you're talking to me, big Porky now. $1 billion. Richard Schaefer said, yeah, $1 billion Eddie. Me and Dennis are laughing about it. He said, if Eddie's got $1 billion, why don't he just pay Dillian Whyte that extra? What did he want? Another 1.5 million? Give Dillian Whyte and. Dillian Whyte wanted 7 million, and what did they get up to? 5.5. Why don't we just give him the other 1.5 and have done with it?
Well, that's it. I agree with you, Porky, because the undercard's going to be shite anyway. Because the undercards,
crap.
Gone are the day when Joshua said, "Oh, you know, I like to build an undercard. I own the show, you know, for the fans and all that."
He does own the show.
He does.
They do own the show.
Put him back on the undercards.
Yeah.
It got worse. You know, we get fucking Katie Taylor on, Charlie Edwards or whatever it may be. You know, David Price propping up Sky David Price is the 2019 version of George Groves. Remember when George Groves used to
Yeah.
Glynn and whoever he used to fight, and even his Chudinov fight was on pay-per-view at Bramall Lane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pay-per-views. This year it's David Price. Next year it'll be someone else. Shit.
David Price is close friends with Bellew, and he's Eddie's pal, isn't he? So what you're gonna get is, Tony Bellew is gonna push for David Price. Them Liverpool lads always get a break off Eddie, don't they? There's something not right there. But going back to boxers owning the show, Smido, I'm gonna tell you something now, right? For example, you own your own house, don't you, right? Let's say we've got us houses. If I've got 15 grand and I want to spend it on my house, and that's all I've got. Yeah. I've got 15 and I'm going to try and do everything so I've got money left at end. And that's like a boxer. Anthony Joshua knows whatever he puts on his show, it comes out of his purse. I've had this conversation with Frotch. I saw, did you pay so-and-so and so-and-so good? And he said, yeah, they all got overpaid. But when you look at what Joshua's paying him, and I've heard a few, I'm not going to say who, but I'll tell you after the phone call, but I know a couple of people who fought on Joshua's shows, and they were saying that the money is a lot less than what the guys were getting when Frotch were fighting Groves, because Frotch brought it back, didn't he? Now you've got to understand that Joshua's going to look after his boys, Boazzi and Akoli first, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then everybody else is going to be on buttons, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's out of his cake, it's out of his end, he owns the show. That's why Eddie Hearn just lets them take all the risk and say, look, you own the show. Because he's not taking any risk. It's like the EIS up there, it's lottery funded. They're giving him the fighters through McCracken. McCracken's the main man up there. He's got Joshua up there, Akoli Boazzi are there all day. He's got Max McCracken training guys up there, Yafai. There's other matchroom fighters up there making full use of the lottery funded building. Then you've got Sky, they're giving Eddie Hearn the platform. Now you've got DAZN coming to mix. They're paying him to put stuff on. Now if people are going to give them money, they're going to use everybody's money. They're not going to take a risk with their own. For example, I could show you invoices what fromBoxing Dennis to put shows on at Sheffield. I know the classed as small hall shows, you know, it's 2,000 people can get in Ponds 4. But the 2,000 people at a sellout only pulls 75 grand on the night in tickets. And then you've got X amount for TV, doorman, judges, everything else. And by the time you've paid fighters, you're left with nothing. Even if them fighters sell all the tickets, if they don't, you're in dire straits. Now that's at the other end of other end of the scale. You know, the scale where you don't get behind the gloves and IFL coming to give your lads some PR, because they all want to film the Dirty Dozen, don't they? And what I mean by Dirty Dozen, listen to this, some statistics I've been looking at. Right, let me just put this on.